Someone asks you for help. Your chest tightens. Your mind races through excuses. You know you should say no. You have no time, no energy, but your mouth says yes anyway. And the moment the word leaves your lips, you feel it. That familiar weight settling into your shoulders. Another obligation added to a list that already feels impossible. You tell yourself next time will be different. Next time, you will be honest. Next time you will say no. But next time comes and your mouth betrays you again. Yes. Always. Yes. Until your life becomes a collection of promises you made to everyone except yourself. There was once a Confucian scholar named Chen Wei who served as advisor to the provincial governor of Henan. Chen was known throughout the region for his wisdom and his mastery of Li, the ancient art of proper conduct. People traveled for days to seek his guidance. Officials brought him policy disputes. Merchants asked him to mediate conflicts. Students begged to study under him. Families wanted him to oversee their important ceremonies. Chen said yes to nearly all of them. He believed this was what virtue required. He thought a truly cultivated person never turned anyone away. For 3 years, he worked from before dawn until long past midnight. His reputation grew with each person he helped. So did the requests. They came faster than he could fulfill them. One evening, while reviewing texts for a student, Chen collapsed at his desk. When he woke, his own master, an elderly scholar named Master Huang, was sitting beside him. The old man asked one question. "Tell me, Chen Wei, in saying yes to everyone, have you said yes to your own cultivation? Have you deepened your understanding of the way? Or have you simply scattered yourself so thin that you serve no one well?" Chen opened his mouth to defend himself, but the words would not come. He realized something that shook him to his core. His endless yes had not made him more virtuous. It had made him less effective, less present, less aligned with what he was meant to do. Then Master Huang revealed something even more surprising. You think you have been practicing Li by accepting every request, but Li is not accommodation. Li is appropriateness, and there is nothing appropriate about destroying yourself to please others. Chen had spent 3 years believing he was following the highest principles of Confucian conduct. He discovered he had been violating them. What Master Huang taught comes from 2 concepts at the heart of Confucian wisdom. The first is Li, written as Li, usually translated as ritual propriety or appropriate conduct. Li is the framework that governs right relationships between people. Most modern people hear the word ritual and think of empty ceremony, bowing, following rules, rigid tradition. But this misses what Li actually means. Li is the art of knowing what fits in each situation. It is understanding that proper conduct changes depending on your role, your capacity, and the specific circumstances you face. When you grasp this, you realize something powerful. Not every request deserves a yes. Some situations call for acceptance. Others call for refusal. Both can be expressions of Li when done with awareness. The second concept is Yi, written as Yi, meaning righteousness or moral correctness. Yi is not about following external rules. It is your inner sense of what is truly right in this moment with these people, given your actual responsibilities. According to Confucian teaching, Yi involves moral discernment that goes beyond simple rule following. It requires understanding the situation fully and having the wisdom to act appropriately. When your yes creates genuine harmony and serves your true purpose, that is Yi. When your yes creates disorder in your life or prevents you from fulfilling your real duties, that is not Yi. That is compliance disguised as virtue. Here is what happens in the modern world. From childhood, you learn that no makes you selfish. Teachers praise students who volunteer for everything. Workplaces promote those who never refuse. Social media rewards people who do more, give more, appear everywhere. You absorb a dangerous equation. Yes equals good person. No equals bad person. But this equation collapses under examination. You are not infinite. Your time has limits. Your energy runs out. When you say yes to everything, you are secretly saying no to what matters most. You say yes to another committee meeting and no to rest your body needs. You say yes to helping a friend move and no to finishing your own work. You say yes to appearing helpful and no to being actually effective. The guilt you feel when you consider saying no is not virtue speaking. It is fear. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of seeming unkind. Fear of being seen as less than you should be. The ancient scholars understood something we have forgotten. Confucius taught that trying to please everyone is a path to serving no one well. He said that knowing your proper role and acting within its boundaries is more virtuous than scattering yourself across every possible task. This was not selfishness, it was wisdom. The first principle changes how you see boundaries. Li includes the art of appropriate refusal. Proper conduct does not mean agreeing to every request. It means responding in a way that fits the situation and honors both people. When someone asks something of you, Li requires you to evaluate it honestly. Does this request align with your actual role in life? Do you have the genuine capacity to fulfill it well? Will saying yes honor both you and them, or will it create resentment, exhaustion, and work done poorly? There was a merchant in ancient China who understood this deeply. A customer approached him asking to buy goods at a price below what the merchant paid for them. The customer explained he was poor and needed help. The merchant felt the pull to say yes, to be generous, to appear kind. But he paused. He recognized that selling below cost would harm his ability to serve his other customers and keep his business alive. So he declined. Not rudely, not with shame. He explained calmly that such a transaction would violate his duty to his family and his other patrons. He offered instead to sell at cost so he would not lose money. The customer accepted. Later, this customer told others about the merchant's honesty, and his business grew. The merchant had honored Li not by accommodation, but by clarity. In your life, this means seeing that boundaries do not damage relationships. They create the foundation for sustainable relationships. When you say yes to something you cannot do well, you disrespect both yourself and the person asking. You make a promise you will resent keeping. You create the conditions for disappointment. A clear no, spoken with respect and honesty, serves everyone better than a forced yes that slowly turns bitter. The second principle is letting Yi be your compass. Righteousness is not obligation to every request. It is alignment with what is actually right, given your specific circumstances. Before you say yes or no to anything, you must ask a deeper question. What is truly my responsibility here? Not what would make me look good. Not what would let me avoid discomfort. But what genuinely belongs to my role and capacity. A teacher named Zhou Hua in a village outside Beijing received endless requests to tutor students privately after school hours. Parents offered money. Students pleaded. Zhou wanted to help everyone. But she noticed something disturbing. Her teaching during school was declining. She came to class exhausted. Her lessons were rushed. She had no time to prepare properly. The students she was responsible for teaching were receiving less because she was trying to help more people. She realized her primary Yi, her true moral duty, was to teach her assigned students with full presence and energy during school hours. Saying yes to private tutoring was actually violating her deeper responsibility. So she stopped accepting these requests. Not with guilt, with clarity. When parents asked, she said, "My duty is to teach my students well during the day. I cannot do that if I work every evening. This is where my responsibility lies." Parents respected this. Some were disappointed, but they saw she was not being selfish. She was honoring her actual role. When you let Yi guide you, something shifts in how you measure your life. You stop counting how many things you do. You start noticing how well you fulfill what is actually yours to do. This changes everything. You stop drowning in scattered obligations. You start living with clear purpose. The third principle is the ritual of respectful refusal. Confucian wisdom teaches that how you refuse matters as much as the refusal itself. There is a way to say no that preserves dignity and respect for both people. It has 3 parts. First, genuine acknowledgement. When someone makes a request, you recognize their need without dismissing it. I understand this matters to you. Second, clear statement of your boundary without excessive justification or apology. I am not able to take this on. You may offer brief context if it feels appropriate, but you do not apologize for having limits. Your capacity is not something that requires permission to protect. Third, if possible and fitting, an alternative that respects both people. I know someone who might help, or I could assist with one small part, or simply, I hope you find the support you need. A government official named Lin Mei used this approach in Shanghai when colleagues constantly invited her to optional evening meetings. Instead of agreeing resentfully or refusing harshly, she would say, I value our work together. My commitment is bringing full energy to our core projects. To do that, I protect my evening time for rest. I trust you will share anything essential. Her colleagues respected this. They saw she was not avoiding work. She was preserving her ability to do work well. This is what refusal looks like when guided by Li. It does not destroy relationships. When done with clarity and respect, it often deepens them because people know where they stand with you. The scholars of ancient China did not see life as an endless chain of obligations to fulfill. They saw it as a pattern you align yourself with. Some requests belong to your path, others do not. Some fit your role, others exceed it. The guilt you feel around saying no often comes from a fundamental misunderstanding. You think virtue means saying yes to everything, but virtue is knowing what is truly yours to do and doing it with full presence. When you scatter yourself across 100 half-kept promises, you are not virtuous. You are absent. Absent from your real work. Absent from the people who genuinely depend on you. Absent from your own life. The wisdom of Li and Yi teaches something different. Boundaries are not walls that separate you from others. They are the container that makes real connection possible. When you know what you can genuinely offer and what you cannot, you show up with honesty. People learn that your yes means yes. Your no means no. They trust you more, not less. There is a strange reversal here that the ancient teachers understood. The person who says yes to everything becomes unreliable because they cannot possibly keep all those promises. The person who says no when appropriate becomes trustworthy because their yes carries weight. Here's how you apply this in your life starting today. 1. For 3 days, simply notice every time you say yes when you mean no. Do not judge yourself. Do not try to change, yet. Just observe. Notice where the yes comes from. Is it fear of disappointing someone? Wanting to appear helpful? Avoiding an uncomfortable moment? Awareness is always the first step. 2. Choose one area where you are overcommitted right now. Ask yourself the Yi question. What is my actual responsibility here? Not what would be nice to do, not what others expect, but what truly belongs to my role and capacity given my larger purpose. Let that answer guide what you do next. 3. Practice respectful refusal with one small thing this week. Use the 3-part structure. Acknowledge the request genuinely. State your boundary clearly. Offer an alternative if appropriate, but do not apologize for having limits. Your capacity is real. Honoring it is not selfishness. 4. Write one sentence about your primary commitment in life. What are you protecting? What is yours to do? When new requests come, measure them against this commitment. Does this request honor what I am committed to or undermine it? 5. Remember that guilt is not a moral compass. Guilt often means you are breaking old patterns of people-pleasing, not that you are doing something wrong. When you feel guilty for saying no, pause. Ask yourself, does this no violate my actual values or just violate my habit of accommodation? You do not need to master this immediately. The practice of Li and Yi is not a skill you learn once. It is a way of living you refine over time. It is about learning to recognize what belongs to your path and what does not. It is about understanding that your capacity is real and protecting it serves everyone. It is about replacing guilt with clarity and forced accommodation with genuine presence. The Confucian masters taught that the person who understands proper boundaries serves far more effectively than the person who tries to do everything. You do not honor others by destroying yourself. You honor them by showing up fully for what is truly yours to do. Write in the comments, I choose clarity over guilt. Thank you for watching.